So I'm gonna just do this. I was gonna put makeup on and, you know, try to present myself a little better, but I'm just so fascinated by the things that have happened today, and I really wanted to pop in and do a kind of a podcast or whatever. So Facebook, that's what I want to talk about. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. WhatsApp's an app that I have, but I never really use it, so you know, I haven't missed it. But I'm gonna just really quickly go in, and it looks like Facebook is back up, but my question is, for how long? Your post was shared, so yeah, I did this testing on my Facebook earlier. I guess that's backwards. I don't know if it's going to be corrected. So I'm not even sure how to compose this or say it, because we you know, there's been such vicious attacks against anybody who says anything that somebody else disagrees with. You know, I have had issues with Facebook, and I think that part of the issue that the whistleblower was talking about was Facebook allowing bullying and harassment and misinformation and mistreatment. Just in general, they have been fucking with us this whole time. And, you know, some people are going to go, duh. Well, I'll go, duh, too, because I've just, especially over the last few years, it seems like Facebook is really biased and one-sided, and you know, they claim to not want bullying, harassing, or misinformation, or arguing, or they don't want to incite riots or spread lies, but apparently that's exactly what they've been doing. So, you know, I try to stay kind of just like under the radar. I don't like to get into any mess. The whole mess with that coffin wallet pattern was the biggest exposure I've ever had on the internet, if you want to put it that way, you know. And I definitely saw the negative side of Facebook and Instagram. And I'm just going to talk about that for a second, because I was like, I had an aha moment. And you know, when you get an aha moment, especially moms, most of the time we tend to be there waiting to say, I told you so. And in this case, I was like, I told my kids, I said, I told you, you see, I was right. Something was not right. Facebook and Instagram play the negative side all the time, because when that stuff happened with the coffin wallet pattern, this girl went in and claimed videos of mine or videos of hers with my video content in it to be solely her property, her intellectual property. And Instagram took them down, Facebook took it down. No recourse. I could not send a message. I could not send an appeal. I could not ask why. I could not say, hey, those were my videos that you allowed her to take down. Yeah, some of them were hers, and I shared them directly from TikTok. But, you know, some of them were mine, and she used my material in there, and you're telling. But anyways, I digress. I frickin' digress. I want to see where this goes. I don't believe it's over. I don't believe that by a long shot it is not done. We're going to hear more about this, and we're going to end up, things are going to change. Maybe for the negative, maybe for the positive. Maybe it's a little mixture of both. You know, it's just going to, some people are going to hate it, some people are going to love it. But I feel like this is a natural process. When anything comes along, you know, it's like, I don't know if I want to compare it to, but when something happens that kind of opens everybody's eyes to things needing to be more regulated, or maybe more looked after at least, you know, I believe freedom of speech should be a big thing, but have we really had that when we've been given misinformation and when we've been manipulated by Facebook's algorithm and the way they use it to incite arguing, anger, violence, hatred. I mean, it just appears that I watched the interview with the whistleblower, and it was just the about 14-minute interview. I want to go back in and watch the full interview, because apparently you can watch the whole entire thing online. They didn't have enough time to do it in the 60-minute segment, but I'm definitely interested in this. This is something that caught my attention because I've seen how biased Facebook can be. I mean, they absolutely will allow the hateful majority to win over the quiet minority. I find it extremely fascinating, and I think it's going to change some things. And I know it's like, I still have my MySpace account from years ago. I can't remember the login, but I also still have my husband's, Julian's. I signed up for a new MySpace account because, just covering the bases. I thought it was kind of funny when I signed up that the sign up page had where you could sign up through your Facebook or your, was it Instagram? It was one of them other ones, or your email. So it's like, yeah, we're not going to do the Facebook sign in. Nuh-uh. Not doing that. But I'm extremely interested to see where this will go, because we know you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist or a Democrat or a Republican to know that blackout, that Facebook blackout, weren't no accident, y'all. Things are going to happen. Old Zuckerberg, he's going to have to do some things to make some changes. Or maybe the change will be that he will be out. The kids and I talked about it a little bit. They had to go to work, and they had just woke up, and I was like giving them the tea. I was like, oh my God, Facebook's been out since 12 today. It's so weird. Then Instagram went out, and then I found this article, and then I seen this TikTok video about the whistleblower, so I went and looked it up, and I was like, it is wild. It is wild, really wild. It's fascinating to see when things evolve this way. Facebook's been around for 15, 16 years. And this is the evolution of, changes that will be to come are because Facebook did some shady shit. And, they're going to kind of be the pioneers of, this is why we have to do this and this and this. And we'll just see where it goes. But I thought it was really interesting to see the backlash, I guess. It's really funny because one way that it directly affected us today was my son and daughter and I, we all live in this duplex. My son lives by himself over there, and my daughter and I live in this side of the apartment. And we communicate through Facebook. When they're getting ready for work and I'm getting ready to take them, I always message my son on Facebook and ask him if he's ready to go. He was just telling me, before I took him to work, he said, yeah, I have almost all of my friends, that's how I communicate with them. I don't even have their phone numbers. So, luckily I have my son and daughter's number. My daughter didn't even have my son's number because they just always are on Facebook. So it kind of makes you think that there's some things that we need to go ahead and, I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not giving anybody any advice. I got my own drummer, and I go to the beat of that drummer. But for me personally, I think this is a good way to kind of wean off of Facebook, which I have been trying to do a lot lately, but it is habitual. It's like the first thing you do in the morning, you get up and you check your Facebook notifications. That's something we didn't even do 10, 15 years ago. We got out of bed and our alarm clock went off. We hit snooze a couple times. We got out of bed. We got ready for work. If we had a cell phone, I remember sometimes I just didn't even know where it was. I had a cell phone around that I and if I got on Facebook, the app was not around for a long time. So, it was on my computer. I would get on my computer and get on Facebook, and so there's there's things that for me personally I think I want to change about the way I do things, the way I live my life, because I had been thinking about that since the whole thing happened with the coffin wallet pattern, and you know, all of, that fiasco just disenchanted me with a lot of the online social media stuff, because you can so easily manipulate a story, you know, and that could be anybody. You know, I could tell my story, but she has a different version of how she saw it, and you know, her followers have a different version of how they saw it. My friends, I don't have followers, I have friends and family, you know, they saw it different, and it's too easy to manipulate. That's you know, how do I put this? There's a lot of talk about the Matrix and us living in a made up world. Well, we do. I mean, you can make fun of conspiracy theorists all day long, but the fact is that we are all living in that made up world. We all tend to live online. I know a lot of friends and family. I know some fake ass people. Their lives are nothing like you see online. You know, you got this smiling pretty face and just, you know, just a gorgeous young woman, and she looks like she's got her shit together, but in reality she can't keep a job. She's hooked on meth. She's a horrible mother to her children. And you know, you see that when you know this person in real life, and you can't convince people who've known somebody only in the cyber world, you know, that person is not who they think they are. A lot of us live fake lives. You know, I fake being happy a lot. I fake everything being okay. I just don't want to get involved in, for me it's different. I only give so much information, and a lot of people think that, you know, I've been told you're such an open book, you're so open and honest. I am an open, honest person, but I give you just enough online, which is why, you know, with that coffin wallet, that I'm gonna keep going back to that, with that whole fucking fiasco, they tried so very fucking hard to find something shitty and shady on me. And the thing is that I run with a different peer group. I'm 50 years old, and I grew up in the 80s. We didn't have cell phones, we didn't have social media. We handled our own shit. And we knew how to behave like adults. So you won't find anything on me online where I've done shady shit, because I just don't. I don't do stuff like that. And I know that a lot of people will look at that as a challenge, but go for it, you know. The worst I've probably ever done is I say fuck a lot. I mean, I could be happy as fuck and I'll post it on Facebook. I'm happy as fuck today. But, you know, I know I don't want to be a fake person. I have a really hard time being a fake person. You know, I've had people tell me when it comes to my personal life and dating, it's like, well, just, you know, just fake it. At least go out and have dinner and have a good time. You don't have to like the guy, but I can't pretend to like somebody that I don't. I can't pretend to be okay with somebody who has a shitty personality, and they, you know, be their buddy and be their pal and their friend, and, you know, ooey gooey bullshit that I see daily. So for me, I mean, it's like, I like to make this change. I kind of hope, I really do, I kind of hope that Facebook crashes and burns, because it's been too much of this shit. Knowing what they did, knowing the things that they are accused of, and that she has evidence of, they manipulated us into arguing, into hate speech, into harassing others, into bullying. That, you know, people became a part of that. Whenever that mess was happening with me, my Instagram was so inundated, and then these little shits got pissed because I shut that down. I mean, I had friends telling me, because I don't follow that negativity, but I had friends telling me, you have like 600 comments on your video that you posted of the little coffin wallet that you made. You know, and that's how easily people can be manipulated and just molded into what somebody else wants them to be. You tell a story and people pick sides and they're going to argue. And that's what Facebook basically, you know, what I got from the interview that I saw, that's what they wanted. They wanted us to argue, because she said in part of the interview that when people are happy and content, they do not keep coming back to the app. But when there is something to argue about, that's when you get all these people together, and that's what happens. I saw that firsthand. You know, it was a simple thing. Even she said, Lauren Reedy, the founder of Seemingly Wicked, who started all this shit over me making a coffin wallet pattern, she even said, okay, I was wrong, but still, let's treat her like shit. Let's slander her name and libel her name, and let's go on her page and you know, make the rating go down. And just, you wonder with these people what will happen to them in reality when they have to live in the real world and be a genuine person. You can't hide behind a computer screen and make up lies and incite people to argue constantly over things that there was no context for an argument. Once she said, hey, I lied, I don't have a copyright to the shape of the coffin wallet pattern. But you see, those kind of things are what happens when you get sites like this. I mean, when she had my videos taken down, there was no appeal button. There was a threat from Facebook. You do it again, we're shutting you down. Do what again? Post my own videos again? Have somebody say that they were theirs and they get taken down and I get blamed? You know, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Maybe we should all just let Facebook crash and burn and go out into the sunlight and start really getting to know each other again. Start trying to be human beings again. Because this manipulation, I mean, that's the simulation that we choose to live in, but we can step out of that at any time. We can say, hey, this is enough. And I think it has been for me for a long time. And I'm not saying, you know, that I won't be all over Facebook tomorrow. For me, though, it's a business tool, and so that would be the part of it that I would lose, because I've really been trying lately. One reason that I've been kind of MIA on a lot of this stuff and not really there is because I've been trying to learn how to post in order to get more views so that I can build up my business. And the biggest thing that I'm working on, you know, I'm getting off subject, but the biggest thing I'm working on is my digital art, and that's what I want to work for me. So I was really trying to learn, like, I was trying to pace myself and not post all the time, every time, just anything and everything. And it's really hard because, you know, I'm home a lot. I don't go out anywhere. I'm not working outside of the home currently. So, you know, that's my link to the outside world. But then this happens and you start to think, was it really my link to the outside world, or was it my fake little Matrix world? You know, I don't know. I got a confession. I've never watched The Matrix. I love Keanu Reeves. I think he is just the sexiest man alive, like his whole personality and everything. Come on. Our fake world is right here. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just curious. What's your opinion on this whole Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp fiasco, and how do you think it'll play out? Because we know it's not over. It is not over. This lady had documentation. Yeah. And she's got a story to tell, and before it's over, old Uncle Sam, I guess, whatever you call him, he's going to step in and make some rules and laws, and Facebook has probably broken every one of the rules that will be made to make changes. And I I just kind of feel like it's not going to be what it always was. Maybe not right away. Maybe it's going to be a slow death. But I think it is going to be a death. Facebook has cancer and it is dying. So, that's just my 2 cents. And so, anyway, peace, y'all. Bye-bye. Comment below. Let's talk about it, right?